Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am just a regular dude walking in the Word. We are going through the book of Matthew right now, and as you've been following along, we covered in chapter 24 kind of the end times events, okay, with the rapture taking place, and then 7-year period of tribulation, and then the second coming of Christ. Now Jesus is using some parables to teach about the rapture of the church. Okay, some people would get it confused with the second coming of Christ. This is, and the parable we talked about yesterday was, or the past 2 days before that, was dealing with the virgins and being ready for the rapture of the church. Okay, then today we're going to be talking, the next 2 days we're going through another parable where we're talking about another parable that is also talking about being ready for the rapture of the church. And we're dealing with faithful people and unfaithful people. So today we're going to be talking about the faithful who are dedicated to Jesus and following him all the way, through the rapture. And then the others who are unfaithful, they've just kind of just fallen away and done whatever they want to do. All right. So let's, today we're going to be reading, and it's the parable of the talents today for the next 2 days. The parable of the talents. And it's taken from Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30. Okay. Now today, I'm going to be switching all kinds of things up on you. We're going to be reading from this is a Bible I use for Bible study. It's the New Inductive Bible, but it's the New American Standard Version, which uses some of the same terminology as the King James, okay? And it's called the Parable of the Talents. If you look in the NIV, you're going to read it, and it's called the Parable of the Money Bags, the gold bags, okay? So let me explain what a talent is before we start off. You would think that as we look at a talent, you're like, oh, I have the talent of singing, or I have the talent of speaking, or I have the talent of working on cars. You could use it in that context, but that's not what Jesus is talking about, okay? A parable, or the talent, is a sum of money, but it is not a coin. So I imagine this is a cap from my Arizona iced tea, okay? So imagine this is a coin here, all right? A coin back then is not a talent, okay? So kind of get that out of your head. A talent is the weight of the money, okay? So, and the talent would vary depending on what is being weighed, okay? So you would have, you might have brass or copper, and you might have silver, and then you might have gold, okay? So gold naturally is going to be worth a whole lot more than the brass or the silver, okay? So the silver was probably the most common coin used in that day. But so the talent is the weight of it. And when we talk about the talent here, the talent, let me read, and this is actually from the Holy Land Illustrated Bible, okay, where it has whole articles on this stuff. It says the talent was actually a weight and not a coin, and was made from gold, silver, or copper. Its value depended upon the metal from which it was made. Silver was the most common, 3,000 shekels, and shekels was like this would be a shekel, okay? 3,000 shekels equaled 1 talent. A talent usually weighed between 60 and 90 pounds, thus representing a large sum of money. Okay, so but imagine you have 60 to 90 pounds, okay? That's like a bag of salt that you might have for your water softener is between 40 and maybe 50 pounds, but a bag of feed might be a 50-pound bag, okay? And that's all you really want to carry. You don't want to be carrying 100-pound bags around. But so this is between 60 and 90 pounds, okay? So you have that amount of gold. And so that's why the NIV says bags of gold. So it makes it easier for you to understand. But I'm going back to the talent today so that we understand it, because that's the way the original translation was. It wasn't bags of gold. It was a talent, okay? So to give you an idea, when it says this, like this is a lot of money. Okay, so it would take like 20 years to equal a talent. Okay, so and 20 years of wages, of daily wages, to equal a talent. So it's a lot of money, these talents are. Okay, so let me read that today. Let me get my spectacles here, and I'm reading from the New International Version. Okay, and today we're focusing on the faithful when we talk about this. Then the kingdom of heaven will be comparable to 10. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm starting with verse 1. It's actually verse 14 we start at. For it is just like a man about to go on a journey who called his own slaves and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his ability, and went on his journey. Okay? So the man, the slave owner, gave each according to his ability. All right, so we're each given talents and what God has asked of us, each according to our ability. It's not given out equally. Okay, but we're given each according to our ability, and that's what he did here. Okay, in verse 16, immediately the one who had received 5 talents went and traded with them and gained 5 more talents. In the same manner, the one who had received 2 talents gained 2 more. But he who had received 1 talent went away and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. Now after a long time the master of those slaves came and settled accounts with them. The one who had received the 5 talents came up and bought 5 more talents, saying, Master, you have entrusted me with 5 talents to me. See, I have gained 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Okay? Also, the one who had received 2 talents came up and said, Master, you entrusted me with 2 talents. See, I have gained 2 more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful slave. You are faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. And one of those also who had received the 1 talent came up and said, Master, I knew you were a hard man, reaping where you do not sow and gathering where you do not seed. And I was afraid, and I went away and hid your talent in the ground. See, you have what is yours. But his master answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy slave, you knew that I reap where I did not sow and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have put my money in the bank, and on my arrival I would have received my money back with interest. Therefore take away the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have an abundance. But the one who does not have, even what he has, will be taken away. Throw that worthless slave into outer darkness, into the place where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This parable was given so that you would understand to be prepared for the end times. Okay, so David Guzik had the best summary of this. It says this: the main point of the parable is our readiness for Jesus' return is determined by the stewardship of the resources that he has given us. Okay, let me reread that. That's from David Guzik here. Our readiness for Jesus' return is determined by our stewardship of the resources that he has given us. Okay, so if I'm ready for Jesus' return, I'm using all the resources he has given to me for his glory. Okay, if I'm not excited about his return, and I'm not anticipating his return at all, and I'm living like he's never going to return, I'll just like live for myself. Okay, and that's what the last guy was doing. The thing here I want you to see, the big thing of this is faithfulness. The 2 guys were faithful, and the slave owner, he said this: you have been faithful. He didn't go, oh, you're wise guys. He didn't go, boy, you're good investors. He said you're faithful. Okay, and that's what we want to hear when Jesus returns, is you were faithful. Okay, and so that's the big thing, being faithful. Okay, so thanks for watching. We're going to continue this tomorrow. I'm talking about the unfaithful. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through the book of Matthew. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.